A recap for those of us that missed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I guess the players that played last week can give a quick recap for the two.
So Efrix, we've given you the rundown on like what happened with the Zarkonians, like that they are a thing and what they're all about, right?
Jog my memory.
Okay, so way back in like I think the arc happened in July. Um, the Kismet found a crystalline planet.
Okay, yes.
Wait,
You have to give me a description of what the Zarkonians were because I couldn't remember
Yes.
the name. So yes, okay, the Crystal People, and you kind of killed a bunch.
Yes, and we almost went to war with them, and we barely managed to secure a peace.
these are the silicon-based life forms you're talking
They're
about?
not. They're energy beings. They're energy
No.
beings. They are energy beings that have the ability to manipulate crystal. So
Scary.
yeah. So and
You can make a chandelier.
and left them to develop their culture because part of their whole thing was that up till this point they just kind of existed and didn't really have a culture, and so coming into contact with us meant that they had to start developing one. And so it's been a few months since that happened. It's been like what, 2 or 3 months in game. And Starfleet had gotten word that there was activity around the Zarkonian world, and they sent the Kismet to investigate because, well, we're the ones who have had the most experience with the Zarkonians. We're the best pick, really. In addition, we're also the flagship of the fleet, and generally a good pick when you want to fly the flag, so to speak. So we went out to Zarkonia and found out that in the short 2-3 months since we've been away, their world has developed into a massive trading hub for all sorts of different species within the Shackleton Expanse. And it's really cool because their planet can move. Like, they can move their planet.
I think they call that a rogue planet, one that's not in the solar system, just flies around. I think they really have that in real life, actually.
Well, yeah, but like they can control the movement of the planet.
Yes, this one is, they can propel this planet wherever they want it to go.
So it's a controlled rogue planet or something.
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
So it's basically a moving hub planet, which is extremely valuable. And
Take it.
no, and and so what happened was we got in contact with them, and because of everything that I did during the first arc, we had a point of contact who's kind of like the one in charge of the planet now. And we got to talking, and we caught up and everything, and that was fun. But while on the planet's surface, Evans and Penn got drunk. Penn just got drunk off his ass.
No comment.
It was funny. In general, that whole bit was great. And Evans stumbled upon a faction of the crystalline beings who want to break away from Zarkonia and return to their like peaceful, what's the word?
Isolationist.
Yes,
There you go.
yes, exact, yes. They want to return to like the isolationist way that they had before. And in order to do that, they need to break off a large chunk of their planet, because that would be like one of their elders. A large chunk of the planet would be one of their species' elders, and they need to break off from the planet, and that would require a large and carefully calculated weapons discharge. And so they tried to solicit Lieutenant Evans to get the help of the Kismet. He rightly, said, no. And then Penn, in his drunken state, saw some Romulans dealing with some of these Zarkonians, not sure which side. these Zarkonians are on, but with some Zarkonians. And then shortly after that, we ended up finding out this. I ended up finding out this information from Pendant Evans. We beamed down to the planet to investigate, and then there was a large energy discharge of some kind. The planet rumbled, and a large chunk of the planet broke off.
You did miss
Well,
one key thing.
What did I forget?
You missed Penn running throughout the ship and knocking out a security officer.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, because he was just so incredibly drunk. So
I
incredibly
love how the
drunk.
Kismet fixes every situation that it comes into contact with.
Professionals!
All right, so with the last time on Star Trek Kismet out of the way, we are going to go ahead and open the scene up with the 4 members of the away team on the planet, having just witnessed the large part of Zirconia split away, and you guys can physically see it making its way slowly further into space.
That's a problem.
I didn't do it.
See, our jobs just got significantly more difficult.
It wasn't my fault.
Captain Grennan to Kismet. 4 for an emergency beam up.
Oh, I don't have my. Hold on. Transporter.
Weren't
There you are.
expecting that, were you?
I didn't have any of my sounds open.
Beautiful.
And you guys are back on. Oh dear God, this loud.
Ow. My ears.
There we go. Much better.
Okay.
You guys are back on the ship in the transporter room.
Alrighty, so immediately gonna make my way back up to the bridge. And I'm gonna take the bridge from. I presume Lieutenant Commander Efrix has been keeping watch on the bridge.
Seems
If
like-
you told me to.
Seems like a good idea.
Mhm.
The commander still being locked away in his room and all.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everyone, bring us to red alert. Mr. Nave, I need you to hail the planet.
Alright.
Try getting me the Enlightened One.
And Lieutenant Nave goes ahead and contacts the planet. And inside the command center, you can see the Enlightened One, and she looks very frantic. And everyone in the command center, almost everyone, is trying to come to her for advice. A lot of people, like you, are kind of overhearing the chatter in the room. A lot of the people are asking what about trade ships. Are all wanting to leave, obviously, with the planet blowing apart. Other Zarkonians in the room are also shaken about the split and are trying to have her doing something about it. But needless to say, she's being mobbed by people at the moment.
Enlightened One, how are you holding out down there?
This can't be happening.
Well, I'm afraid it is, and I think we might know the cause.
Please, Captain, anything you could do to help. And she kind of yells in the front of the room, "Just be quiet!"
Mr. Evans, if you would.
Oh, would you like me to deliver the rundown?
Yes, because you could probably give a better rundown of the situation than I.
Ah, yes. So I just recently discovered a faction that wanted to split away from the rest of Zarkonia, much in the fashion that they seem to have just done now. because they apparently wanted the more traditional style of life you used to have, and that is the short version.
The long version is that in order to do this, they needed a lot of weapon energy, something on the scale of power that the USS Kismet could provide. Of course, we didn't provide it to them, but someone else did.
Do you know who, Captain?
We have a couple of suspicions, but nothing founded yet.
Well, Captain, I trust you fully in this regard. Please let us know what happened.
Understood. Let me see. Oh, we don't have a science officer. I guess Nave will have to do. Nave, how's your science skill?
My science might be better than his.
Nave? You there, Nave? Hello? I guess not.
I've got a 1 science.
I've got
You're
4
funny.
science.
Anyhow, I want a scan of that chunk of. Has the chunk of planet completely flown away, or is it still visible to us?
It's still visible. It's maybe in a low orbit at this point.
Okay.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, I suppose so. Or Nave, are you there?
Yep.
Okay, Nave, what is your science score?
It's a 2.
Never mind then. Efrix, you got this.
Alright, so this roll is going to be reason or control with science difficulty 1.
Okay.
Is the ship gonna be able to help?
Oh, yes.
Good, then it's difficulty 0.
Let's...
Oh, who is? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Azula. Actually,
Hey,
we might
sorry,
want
I'm a bit late today.
Azula to do that then.
Okay, what did I miss?
We're on the bridge and we're scanning the planet.
Okay,
We're
we're
scanning.
getting to roll 20. I'll get on it.
Yeah, we're scanning the chunk of planet that just broke off, and we have also informed the Enlightened One of more or less what we know. We didn't explicitly say we think it might be Romulans, but we said we have a couple of suspicions.
We just enlightened her about what we knew.
Yes.
But
Waka waka.
That was a really stupid joke.
Yes, it was. That was
okay.
really bad. Really bad.
it's RPG time. That's when bad puns and jokes come.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me to do good ones when I've just showed up at 9:15 minutes.
You'll be fine. We did only just start like maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're trying to wait for people.
Mm-hmm.
But, on a wee bit of a deadline.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to change her name, Mishula, but it's fine for now. So we said reason, science, difficult. There you go. Jesus. And I'll roll
Huh. We have the same score for science.
sensor science, right?
Yep.
No, the complication range is not 2. Oh my god. That's 5 momentum.
You're welcome.
Oh my god.
Captain, permission to turn the alarm bell off?
Permission denied.
Why?
Results coming in. About 1/5 of the planet is split away and is gradually drifting away from the rest of the planet. This part is also emitting large amounts of energy and slowly forming into a sphere. This process will probably be complete in 2 days.
Okay, that gives us our time window. 2 days. However, could you use your question to ask at what point will this chunk of planet pass the point of no return?
Just explain the question before I ask it. What is the significance of it forming a sphere?
The significance of its forming a sphere is that it will then be its own planet and probably can't be put back together with the old one.
Okay, so I'll ask the question.
Trying to think for narrative sense. Hold on. I don't think you guys would be privy to when it would be irreversible.
Okay,
But sooner the better.
sooner the better.
So I would like to ask the captain why we are getting involved at this point. What is the siding with the Enlightened One and the Traditionalists?
We're not having this discussion now, Jula. I will have this discussion with you at a later time, Lieutenant.
Very well.
Now then. Let's see. Now. Okay, as things stand, there's very little we can do from our end. Let's see if we can get in touch with anyone on this newly broken off planetoid. Mr. Evans, you think you could hail them?
Well, I'll see if they'll respond.
This is technically done from ops, by the way.
There is no response, guys.
Of course not. And I turn to the screen, and I assume that is the Enlightened One still on or no?
Yeah, she could be.
Okay. Well, there you have it. 2 days, this broken off part of the world will form its own planet.
Well, then we have 2 days to figure out what's going on. I'll get my people started searching our ancient knowledge of anything that might explain this.
Well, I'll have my people crunching the numbers. Is there anywhere that you would prefer us to start?
I guess the best point would be around. I guess the best point would be around the explosion.
Understood. All right. We'll keep in touch. Kismet out.
And the screen goes black.
Right,
Just as the Enlightened one is mobbed again by her subordinates.
Right, bring us down to yellow alert. I want a senior staff meeting now.
Oh, thank God it stopped.
So I suppose then we're gonna go to the conference room.
That could be everybody.
Yep. All right.
Wait, do we have... Is Pinned on the bridge right now?
Yep,
Just super hungover?
pretty much.
I probably have a hypo for that.
So you did give him a hypo at the end of next episode to take care of his drunk symptoms, but you can't do anything about the hangover.
That's interesting.
Yep. So we're all.
I suggest coffee.
All right, everyone. I want suggestions, and I want them fast.
Captain, what are our objectives here? And also, how are the orders we are being given so far consistent with our obligations under General Order?
We have to keep the peace here, Lieutenant. Especially if Romulans are involved.
Hypothetically, we find a way to reunify these two planet segments into a single planet. What is the political outcome here? What are the ramifications of that for us, for the Federation? In what way is that keeping the...
There's really no easy answer to that question, Lieutenant.
Is there any answer to that question, Captain?
Give me a minute.
To be fair, Jules,
think-
whatever happens, someone's going to be unhappy. So,
The other concern is who was aiding them in this.
probably
It's
the
already a
Romulans.
sphere
Yeah.
by now. It turned into a sphere.
No, it's on its way to
No.
turning into a
Yeah.
sphere.
It's
We
still
searched
just a
what it
hunk of
is.
planetoid.
We have the unfortunate problem of the balance in this region of space. The Zarkonians are an incredibly powerful people.
Is there anybody on the chunk that flew off?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume there are.
I mean, with the amount of energy that's there, there's probably.
This sounds like a very good argument for not taking sides in a Zarkonian civil war. But if it's a matter of searching for evidence of Romulan malfeasance, that is something I think we can do.
Not to-
Are there
well,
any
not-
Romulan
well-
vessels in this immediate area of space?
Well,
or
there
other leads we
were.
might follow?
Well, there were some trading vessels, but whether or not those vessels have the firepower necessary to break them off, to break off this chunk of planet is yet to be seen. And furthermore, if there is a vessel with such firepower, it can easily cloak.
Do we see evidence of a space-based weapon?
We haven't yet, but that's something that I definitely want us to be looking into.
Yeah, Captain, that's the thing. If they are able to manipulate energy, could it be possible that they found some way of amplifying that?
That is entirely possible.
That
No.
might be a question for our Zarkonian allies.
One thing that we know about cloaking technology is that it's incompatible with simultaneous use of weapons. The power demands are just too great. So, given the sheer number of ships in orbit around this planet, if we poll the ships and stations in orbit, it's very likely one of them would have seen something if this was in fact a space weapon, as opposed to, say, some kind of weapon placed on the surface and subsequently detonated.
Well, the torpedoes could have been placed on the ground and be like a demo charge almost. I mean, they could have been from the planet.
Yeah, the question is
Sure.
whether the evidence is in space or on the surface.
Right. We need to determine whether or not if everything was done from the ground, it changes the dynamic of how we're going to pursue this. If we're looking for operatives working from a ship in space, we have to change directions towards looking for a vessel,
Right.
as opposed to a terrorist cell on the ground.
Well, it could have been transported from a ship to the ground, or maybe something.
That's entirely possible. However, that kind of energy expenditure would be very difficult to perform without going unnoticed, especially that much firepower.
Captain, wouldn't it be feasible that if something was left on the surface, as you're talking about torpedoes, that even after they went off, there would be some form of scarring or remains of torpedoes in the area that tore off.
Agreed. That should be our first step.
It would also be useful to know roughly just how large a yield of explosives would be necessary to create this kind of effect. I mean, are we looking at freighters and freighter, loads of higher explosives?
Indeed. Those are all questions that we need to those are all questions to be asked when we get to the fracturing site. I think we have our first lead then.
Jula would know this. What was that? The type of torpedo they used on when Voyager, when it rips a hole in space. It's like a really powerful one.
Tricobalts.
Yeah, it might have been something like that, because that can rip a piece of space like time. It's really powerful.
Because that fractures subspace, if I remember correctly.
I highly doubt it. Whatever this was, it needed to be highly controlled.
Put it under the ground, like transported it under the ground or something. I mean,
that's
demo
true, but
from inside.
But Tricobalt is on its own a very destructive torpedo because it is very inaccurate. Not inaccurate, but
it has a really high yield.
Yes, it has a very high yield, probably too high for
unstable.
The kind of, yeah, exactly, too high yield for the kind of precision work that that our separatist faction is looking for. Again, we won't know for certain until we examine the fracture site. And standing here talking about it isn't going to get us anywhere. So I would like to dismiss the senior staff meeting. And Mr. Penn, I would like you to plot us a course to the fracture site immediately.
Aye, Captain.
It also may not be a bad idea to see if anyone saw the explosion itself. Any information I could give could point us in the direction of what kind of discharge it was.
Understood. Lieutenant Evans, I want you to start reaching out to trading ships in the region and gathering as much information as you can about the moment of the fracture.
I like the fracture site. That sounds pretty cool. The fracture site sounds cool. Like that.
In that case, I think we know what we're doing then. I dismiss the senior staff meeting.
Are we going to make any kind of effort to search for a cloaked ship?
We will cross that bridge once we finish scanning the fracture site. I just want to see what's there.
Tachyon.
The thing with cloaked ships is you really need to know exactly where they are in order to make an attempt at flushing them out. And as things stand right now, we have no idea where a cloaked vessel could be. At this point, it could have already warped out of the system.
Or it's with the other part of the planet.
So, again, we'll have to come back to this point later. As it stands, again, talking isn't going to get us anywhere. So I'm dismissing the senior staff meeting. Let's get to it, gentlemen.
Aye.
Do you want me on the surface or ops?
We're all going to be staying on the ship for now. So anyway, I dismiss
I walk out and take my station.
Hang on. So I dismiss the senior staff meeting, and I stop Azula. Azula, would you stay back for a moment?
Yes, sir.
And so the door to the conference room shuts. Lieutenant Azula, I want to make sure you understand something here. This is a fragile piece that needs to be kept.
I understand that, sir. What I fail to understand is how involving ourselves in an alien civil war keeps this peace.
The Zarkonian people are treading uncharted waters. When we first encountered them, they had no culture, so to speak of. We're the ones that introduced them to the concept of culture. We're also the ones who introduced them to the concept of death. And more importantly, Azula, and the captain looks him in the eyes. This ship introduced them to the concept of war. What they decide to do with that lies with us.
Could it be that this ship and this crew may have inadvertently introduced them to the concept of independence, of self-determination, of certain values that I might consider core to what the Federation and its members, of voluntary association, of freedom to be with those you choose to be with?
That's entirely possible.
Then
That's-
are we now denying them their free choice? I mean, setting aside the question of whether some alien power benefits from this arrangement in ways we've yet to discover.
Yes, they should be able to gain their independence, but not in such an underhanded way. The way they've done, people could get hurt. Visuala.
Do we have casualty reports from the planet?
That's something we can ask for.
That's a good idea.
I just hope that we don't find ourselves making an enemy of these independence-minded Zarkonians in the process. I would hate for us to instigate yet another conflict. Or worse still, make the Federation a belligerent party.
I agree. I don't plan to pursue this further than we should. If we can come to a peaceful settlement that results in the separatist group being considered an independent force, a truly independent force, then so be it.
Have we made any efforts to try and serve as mediators? This is a traditional role for Starfleet officers, after all.
Indeed it is, but until we have more information, we won't know for sure.
Captain,
Then
a
I'll get
question.
right on trying to get that information
Hang
for
on,
us, Captain.
well, hang on, Efrix. You're actually not in the room.
Oh.
I dismissed the senior staff meeting.
Oh,
and
sorry.
I dismissed the senior staff meeting and kept Visuala behind to have a one-on-one.
My apologies.
So, all things considered, Visuala, I hope you understand why I'm making the call I'm making. You don't necessarily have to like it, but I hope you understand. You weren't there when we first encountered the Zarkonians all those months ago. Seeing the things that we saw, it instills us with a certain sense of responsibility to these people.
Sorry, I just missed the last minute.
Oh, god damn it.
I apologize.
Inspiring captain speech is the lowdown. You don't I hope you understand why I am making the call I'm making, even if you don't necessarily agree with it.
I can't say I fully understand it, Captain, but nonetheless, you are my captain.
Of course.
If Bones was here, he'd be like, "You're a madman."
Well, dismissed. And I guess we go back onto the bridge.
I
So,
take my stage.
yep, so probably at this point, Penn's probably brought us into orbit of the fracture site.
Sounds good to me.
Yep, Mr. Azula, get us some scans.
All right, this. What are you scanning? Let's start there.
We want to scan the area where the planet fractured away. We want to do a deep scan focused on that area.
All right.
I want to determine what kind of weapon was used, if it was, a beam or a torpedo originating from, from off-site, or whether it was placed on-site previously.
Cool.
Well, those are probably
What
questions.
do-
So, hang on.
Yeah,
What do
it's
the torpedoes emit? Like, what kind of energy?
Well, you see, those are questions we can ask after we roll.
Yep. So this roll is going to be reason or control with science difficulty 2, assisted by the sensor, so it'll be difficulty 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did you make the roll?
I did.
What
Okay.
focus are you using? Let's hold on.
Sensor systems.
Oh, yep. Okay, cool.
Yep. So that's 4 successes.
Yep. So you guys are at 8 total momentum at the moment. Let me go ahead and give him the info.
We're probably gonna have to spend some of that.
Yep, or you're gonna lose too. So
Mm-hmm. Ooh, so much momentum. So, as science officer, you do get a free question, and I don't know if you have a talent that gives you another one.
I
studious.
have the technical expertise talent, which I think actually just reduces the difficulty of these tests.
I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't.
I can double check that in a moment. But the information I have is the explosion was caused by an explosive device of some kind. I'm not sure what kind of explosive device. I can't determine that from orbit. There's just too much interference, background radiation, or the like. The device seems to have been enhanced or amplified in some way using the Zirconian's own energy source.
Who was the one who suggested that that might be the case?
Efforts,
I
if
think-
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Just as you suspected, Doctor. Mr. Ajula, do you think you could narrow down the location where the explosive was set off from here?
I'll ask my free question to do exactly that. Okay, Ed, what was the origin of the explosion?
Right. Send it.
The explosion originated in the ravine formed on the planet.
Right. Well, good news. We have our beam down spot. Now, we do have 2 more momentum to spend on additional questions. So, Ajula, now is the time to ask those questions that you had earlier.
Okay, first question. Any evidence that this was beamed into place from off-site?
I'll take it. Too much interference.
Okay, so different question then.
Can we determine whether any particular recognizable alien technology was used? Romulan, for example.
I'll take it. Too much interference.
So that
There's
brings
too
us...
much interference. You get this information from orbit, Captain. Looks
Okay.
like we'll have to go on site.
Okay. Whatever explosive they used must have been powerful to be causing that much interference. In that case, we need to start preparing an away team. I think that'll be Mr. Evans, Mr. Nave, Lieutenant Ajula, and myself will go down.
You get some like spacesuits on or something, right?
Will we need that? Is there an atmosphere at the site, or...
Yeah, I mean it's still Zarconia.
Okay.
Speaking
So
of
there's no
Ajula,
like
can I
radiation
see down
or
there?
anything that we're detecting.
I'm sorry, what was that, Ajula?
This is Arconian territory. Do we have permission to be down there?
Yes, we do.
It's not a part of their territory anymore.
We do... Oh, no, we're not beaming down to the part that broke away. We're beaming down to where it broke away.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
No, we have permission from the Enlightened One, who's currently the head of the Zirconian government.
And just for an FYI, technical expertise allows you to re-roll
Yeah.
a any
D20.
task assisted by the ship's computers or sensors. You could re-roll a d20,
Okay, thanks.
which can be the ship's.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if the ship had rolled a complication, you could have used your technical expertise to force the ship to re-roll. So, anyways. So in that case, I think that's going to be Evans, Neva, Jula, and I are going to beam down to the planet's surface. Actually, should bring Dr. Efrix as well.
That's pretty close to the whole group, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody but Pend.
Everybody
He's too
but...
drunk.
Yep. Exactly. Everybody but Pend, and... I mean, off-screen, we say Commander, but...
Good. We will need a Pend sitter.
Yes. Yes, Commander will be... Commander Varro will be Lieutenant Pend's pen sitter.
Don't you dare! Let me be a drunk captain!
Oh, not a chance.
Oh no.
Not a chance.
Spoil sports. All of you.
DUI.
Okay.
Before they leave, Efforts gets like a huge cup of coffee and just kind of
Downs it.
hands it to Pin. No, hands it to
Oh,
Pin
no.
and then
Oh.
pets him.
No.
Well, if we're using replicators, here we go.
Okay, well, in that case, I say we all go down to the transporter room. Everyone make sure you have all the equipment you need.
I don't like coffee.
Do we want to bring any exotic equipment here, or just
It'll
our
help
standard
you.
issue stuff?
It'll help your headache.
Oh.
A geological tricorder might not be a bad idea, Jula.
Anything that requires an opportunity cost, I mean, mechanically.
They have those? A geological? I thought they were all... Wow.
Yeah, they have geological tricorders. Anyhow, then I think we're fine for now. We have the Kismet in orbit, keeping tabs on us, so I think we'll be fine. So I say let's head down. Actually, I actually think I might stay behind on the ship. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
Who's in charge?
Lieutenant Commander Efrix will lead the away team.
Oh.
Pressure.
Okay, I guess I need to pay more attention.
Lovely. All right. You have your assignment. You have your assignment. Best of luck.
All right.
New scene?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, you guys are still on the ship.
Well, I guess we reconvene at the transporter then. Like we go and get our stuff for away missions, and
All right. Here you
and
guys
just
go
because this is
entering
the way
tran-
that it usually happens, I'm gonna take a little extra in the way of healing supplies, just in case. Just a little extra from what I would normally take, because it seems like we always find injury.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring a phaser, so, and that geological, scan.
Speaking of injured, do we have any means of treating injured Zarkonians?
Not the Zarkonians, but they weren't the only ones on the planet.
Yeah.
We got coffee.
That's something that I'll... that is something that I will coordinate with the Enlightened One from up here on the Kismet. I want you four to focus on the fracture site.
Okay, I've got my usual gear. I'm ready to go.
How many of us is that? 4?
Or
Yep.
you.
Now that the captain's not going?
Yeah.
Captain won't let me be awesome.
4 to beam down.
Commander, I'm having trouble getting a lock on into the ravine. I could set you down next to it.
Want to take a shuttlecraft?
Is option 2. Our best pilot is
Capable.
not fit for flying,
Can
however.
still do
I'm
it.
also quite capable.
I'm going to introduce a secondary character in that case.
Well, I think
Well, I'm also capable of flying.
Evans can fly.
Yeah, Evans can fly.
Then let us fly.
However, how close to the ravine could you get us?
100 yards.
Oh,
That's good.
That
Yeah.
sounds sufficiently close
Oh, yeah.
to me.
Wouldn't want to be right
That's
in
fine.
it anyway. It's probably like lava,
Yeah.
magma, something.
Do we have any reason to believe there will be further transporter problems when we get down, given that we're having transporter problems now?
I think as long as we can maintain a distance from the ravine itself, it shouldn't be an issue.
I'm not in charge.
It's even if we take a shuttlecraft down, we're still going to have to set away from the site. So regardless, we're going to have to move away from the site in order to be transported out. But
It's your call, Doctor. I just want to make sure we're not going to be stranded
just to
down
double
there.
check. Efforts to Captain.
yes.
They're having some transporter troubles getting us close to the site. Recommendations: the crew seem to feel more safe with a shuttlecraft rather than trying to transport down in case of future trouble.
Understood. If you're bringing down a shuttle, I'll clear it with the Zarkonians.
Awaiting the all clear, sir.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna contact the Zarkonians and see if it's okay for my crew to take a shuttle down.
Oh, by the way, I never spent my bonus question. I would like to use my bonus question to determine whether there's any other interference caused by whatever is making it difficult to scan.
You did spend your questions. You asked your first question, which he gave you the answer to, and then we messed up our 2 questions after it by asking questions that didn't have satisfactory answers.
I see.
So, no.
Questions to no answers.
Yes.
Or questioning or questioning.
So, okay, so, Captain to Dr. Efrix, you have permission.
Aye, sir. Let's go pick ourselves a shuttlecraft.
Who's driving? Am I gonna drive or who's?
Evans.
Yeah,
I
I have
think.
a bit of
Alright,
experience
cool.
flying shuttlecraft.
All right, cool.
Which one
Which
do we
one-
want to take,
I was
guys?
gonna say, which are you gonna take?
Ooh.
There's 4 of us, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That rules out the Type 9s. That means it's either the Neruda or the Tupren. I suggest the Neruda. It's smaller.
Yeah,
That sounds good to
I
me.
agree with that. Alright, so we load up on the Neruda.
Well, the other ones don't have capacity for 4.
They're small. They're really small.
Oh,
The
they
Type,
only have a
type
2-seater?
9s can carry 3 maximum.
Wow. You can
Wait,
rat
is that
pack
3
it.
passengers, or does that include the pilot?
1 pilot, 2 passengers in the Type 9.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Neruda
you guys should get down to the planet.
Yes. So we're getting the Neruda.
Let's go.
Please do.
All right, and you guys launch from the ship, and you start making your way toward the planet. Let me see. Let me get to my spot here.
Does Evans crash the shuttle?
We'll see. All right, so you're flying over the site of the split, and you find a very deep ravine where the now floating planet once sat, or the once floating piece once sat. And you can kind of make out lying all over this once pristine valley are pieces of crystal caught in the blast. And it is very visible that these pieces of crystal have scorch marks from the explosion, and you just see millions of tiny pieces just littering the landscape.
Snowing.
And this is as you guys are flying over.
Any visible injuries from up here?
Not from here.
Does it look like there's an area that looks safe to land?
You could sit down on the an area that is safe to land is the like the cliff next to the ravine. It's still pretty stable.
Okay.
from your scanners and whatever.
Is there
Relatively
a clear
flat.
focal point to the explosion? Some clear point of origin?
You won't learn that from here.
Y'all are gonna just have to.
Landslide.
Yeah, so I'll suppose I'll be putting down near a clearing near what may or may not be the focal point.
Okay. So in answer to your question, there is kind of like like how blasts kind of form like a circle of like a blast radius.
Yeah.
You kind of make that out. If that's what you were asking.
Yeah, I want to see if we can access the epicenter.
It's in the ravine though.
Yeah, that's gonna take some trekking.
Yeah.
Wait.
Walk
Have
walk.
a
This
Avalanche.
trek the next generation.
Avalanche.
I'd like to put us as close to that as I can.
As close to what?
The
I think that's
blast
the
site, like as close
the
to that
cliff.
as I can safely get us.
Or
Right.
can you hover right over it and possibly? we
So
can,
you have
I
options.
can also do
There,
that.
you have options, Mr. Evans. You could either take the very safe approach and land on the cliff above the ravine,
Don't do it.
or I will allow you to attempt to land the shuttle deeper in the ravine.
Do it.
Deeper in the ravine.
Well, what are the difficulties?
Don't listen to the captain.
So landing on the ravine on the surface, so to speak, is going to be just you do it. There's no risk there.
I want to be buried alive in the ship and have to eat.
Going
alive.
into the ravine, however, I am going to make a difficulty 4 task, complication 2.
Do it.
Do we have gear for repelling?
Do you?
Like, I have no idea what kind of gear is in the shuttle by default.
You do have a thing called replicators.
You make an excellent point.
so yes.
And the opportunity cost for climbing equipment is going to be 3.
So 3 momentum.
Yes.
Which we have
That
4?
I'll. We have
Which
6,
honestly, I would end up spending trying to land anyway.
So.
Do the most hazardous way possible, please.
Well, because we know if we get into trouble, the transporters don't work here, so we need the shuttle to be a thing.
In the trouble, I'm cannibalizing people.
Wait,
Good
where
to
did this
know.
come from?
If it were me, I'd try landing the shuttle on the site.
Well, it's up to Efrix.
That it is.
Yeah, Mr. Evans, land on the cliffside. We'll rappel
I'm
down.
just gonna bite out of someone. Just one bite. It won't kill them.
That
So
I
don't
shall do.
stop. We'll all take bites of each other.
Cowards.
Where is this?
Evans has
building?
flashbacks to the
Oh
his
no!
cadet cruise.
Okay. I assume, Evans, you're going to take the commander's order and land
Yes.
on the ravine face, or on the cliff. I'll just call it the cliff for ease of
on.
whatever.
All right.
So you are able to land the shuttle safely.
I wanted to land in the ravine too, but orders.
Don't worry, we still have to rappel down the side of a ravine. There's plenty
Which
of chances
Evans,
for
I'm
us
pretty
to.
sure. Yeah, Evans, I'm pretty sure you're happy with that anyway. It's more rock climbing.
Oh,
yes.
cool.
Yes, there is more rock climbing to be had.
There's plenty of chances for us to fall and break our legs and eat each other. It's fine. Don't worry. So yes, landing on the cliffside.
Yes, and you guys are down. And you guys have landed if I got cut off or whatever.
All right.
So, who will be replicating the climbing gear?
All right, that'll cost you 3 momentum.
And then perhaps we can try and get better readings of the energy source now that we're on the planet.
And your climbing gear has been replicated.
Awesome. Everybody take some gear.
All right, yeah, and I just keep passing it down as it's being replicated.
Cool. And you get enough for everybody. I mean,
All right, so I guess it's time to go head to the cliffside.
Does
Do we
anyone have an
wanna-
applicable focus to be the first one down? Or does it not matter?
Do we want to take some scans before we head into the ravine as well? Now that we're planet side, see if we can get anything better.
Yeah, if I can, I'll just use the sensor system on the shuttle. It's more powerful than my tricorder.
all right, reason, science, or security difficulty 2. And
It's me.
go ahead and use the shuttle stats for the sensor science.
All right, one.
Am I doing this roll too?
If you have the shuttlecraft sheet up.
Which one are you guys on? The T'Pren?
Nerda.
Neruda? The...
I said difficulty 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do.
I'm going to re-roll that with my technical expertise,
Oh, well.
and get nothing from.
You had a roll of 5. It wasn't looking good.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 and 0. Okay, that makes sense.
Shuttlecrafts are...
Doctor, here's what I have. The initial blast came from a single explosive device, and that blast happened right at the bottom of this ravine about 2 kilometers down. We're in for a long climb.
Okay. I guess we could have done that before we landed, but that's okay. I didn't think about it. You guys up for this? It's gonna be a long hike.
Brexham used to do this stuff. I can only assume I can.
I'm up for it if everyone else is.
So we're doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's how we're going to get down this ravine. Everybody's going to be rolling a fitness security check. Do not roll them yet, because there's caveats to this. The baseline difficulty and complication for this is going to be difficulty 3, complication 2, and this is going to be for everybody. However, you do have the climbing equipment that I'm going to allow you to create some type of advantage for. I'm going to give you one advantage that you can get from the climbing equipment. You guys can figure out the best way, but some examples I have is to decrease the complication range, decrease the difficulty, possibly have someone with a rock climbing focus assist each character in the role. So you guys get to determine how to use this one advantage, and whatever you guys decide.
I think it would make sense for me to invoke a joined focus and be an assistant.
And you guys can think of other ways to get the advantage besides what I just listed. And you know what? I'm going to give you guys 2 advantages because I think the opportunity cost would account for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll give you guys 2 advantages to figure out how to use in this way. So I have 3 out of the top of my head, but if you guys can think of others, by all means, run them by me.
I think one obvious one that you guys might want to go with is just straight up decreasing the difficulty of the task from 3 down to 2.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
Agreed.
And that applies to everyone, right?
Yes,
Or just-
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, these are 2 advantages that you get to use that applies to everybody.
And
So
then...
agreed. That's 1. For the other one, I propose using me as an assistant with a joined focus.
Well, actually, what's the test?
Fitness security across the board.
So who has the best fitness security?
I have a 9 and a 4 security.
I have a total of 14.
Total of 12.
Total of 11.
So might want to have Evans be the one assisting using the survival focus. Would that work, Ed?
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Who has a 13 altogether?
Evans has a 14.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And we should say that when it comes time to do it, Evans should probably spend a little momentum to
Help.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 13, but I mean 14.
Yeah.
All right. So, like always, you guys get to determine the order of which you guys do this.
Right.
So for everybody, if you guys just wanted to get your sheets ready, there's going to be fitness security. The difficulty will be 2. The complication range will be 2.
I'd have Evans do it.
The complication range is 2.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd have Evans start off because he has cautious security to start.
How is that gonna? Never mind. Sorry.
Because
And-
he's gonna make the first roll and spend a little momentum to get some.
Yeah, and
Get
it
a
also
third
should
guy.
be pointed out that Evans cannot assist himself.
So we want to get him out of the way first,
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
and,
So
and
burn-
it also makes sense narratively because once he's at the bottom, he can help spot people.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Generally,
Right.
the most experienced climber goes first.
Which would be him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this actually works extremely well narratively speaking. Great.
Mhm.
All right. So I'll burn a momentum, roll 3 dice, complication range 2, and use my survival focus.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Right,
So
you
that-
bank 2 momentum, so you're up to 4. Right, Evans, you expertly attached all of the what the hell are those called?
Oh.
The-
Carabiners.
Not the carabiners, but the spikes.
Yeah.
Uh,
That you
Tunes,
look
I
into.
think.
Oh, the anchors?
Yeah, there it
Yeah.
is. You expertly attach the anchors. They're pretty solid in the scorched crystal, and you attach your carabiners to the safety wire, and you start expertly rappelling down, making
honestly-
it look effortlessly, making it look effortless.
Mhm.
And
And I assume I make pretty good time based on that roll.
yeah. So who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm invoking a joined focus for this one.
Okay.
And Evans is assisting.
Oh yeah, Evans with the assist.
All right. Is
Yeah,
that's still
just one
complication
roll.
range 2?
Yeah. Yep.
And I still use my focus, right?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't really done too many assists.
Yep.
So,
There you go.
with the help of our security chief, I make it down.
Yep. Well, he's basically, so as you start climbing, he's basically saying, "No, don't put your foot there. Put your foot. No, foot there."
Yeah,
And-
little to the left. Okay.
Yep.
Keep going.
Yeah. Something
Right,
like that.
right.
Yep.
It was helpful. Thank you.
You know, when it comes time for Knave to do it, I would actually suggest spending a threat because I noticed he has bold security.
All right. So there's 2. We got 2 to go.
Oh boy.
So who wants to be next? The good doctor or Lieutenant Knave?
I guess I'll go. So it's I clicked the complication range is 2,
Right.
and I'm trying to see. I don't have anything for focus, right?
I don't know what your focuses are offhand.
I'll look at him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd say no. However, Knave, I would suggest giving Ed a threat
All
so
right.
that you can use your bold security.
All right. Cool.
All right. So
Do that.
yeah, I'll take the threat, and you're rolling 3 dice,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to re-roll a single dice if you don't like the result.
Mm-hmm. I would keep that.
Yep. And the assist.
because we're dealing with an increased complication range, and I wouldn't risk it.
See, I love the irony that, yes, give Ed a threat so you can use your bold. When it's penned, don't do anything that gives the GM threat.
Evans, you got your assist.
Yes.
Do you have to roll assist for that?
Might as well. It just gains us.
I mean, if we
Momentum.
succeed, it's free
Or
momentum.
the opportunity to get a complication? Each
Yeah,
roll
but
is risk.
in order to do it, he has to assist,
Yeah.
for the advantage.
Yep.
But I got you guys at full momentum at the moment, and the dock.
Feel free to spend a momentum, Doc.
I was gonna say, would anybody be against me spending a moment?
Absolutely
Not at all. Come on
Go
down.
for it.
So that gives me an extra dice, right?
Yep.
Oh no, I didn't mean to grab threat.
If you're wondering, I have 11 threat. If you wanted to throw that up.
Yeah, I was gonna do that in just a moment.
Cool, and you actually get that momentum back, so you're still at 6.
Okay, give me a second.
And so everyone starts climbing down the cliff of the ravine. Evans is expertly guiding each person down, taking it nice and easy. But the equipment is really helping you guys down because you're not straining as much. So you're kind of like rappelling down as opposed to climbing. So you guys make it down to the bottom of the ravine. Couple hours climb, I would say. It is 2 kilometers down. But you make it, is the important thing.
Nice.
In case you're wondering, yes, that is the easy part.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are we getting back up?
I would assume the same way we came down. Based on the interference.
Yeah.
I brought snacks. Anyone else bring snacks?
Everybody gets out their power bars and
Cliff Bar.
what's the-
I didn't
what's
think about that.
Yeah, what's the temperature like down there?
Oh, snap.
I mean, you're still on Zarconia, so it's still,
Whoa.
a balmy 73 degrees.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Okay, so it's
Aren't
cooled
you
down
so
quite a bit.
glad we didn't have to bring a drunk Pend down that cliffside?
Oh.
I-
no.
I hate to say it, but we may have had a corpse on our hands if we had done that.
Penn would have taken the ship in.
He would have taken the Kismet down here.
There's still time.
I don't know if the Kismet has landing struts.
I don't think it does.
He would have had
No one said
to.
he would have taken it back up.
it just wedges it.
I just ram into the planet.
We are now the propulsion system of Zarconia.
But alright, so
That'd be a downgrade.
so you guys have made it to the bottom of the ravine.
So what's the size of the blast radius then? Like the central point that we were able to kind of see from space.
Right. So the ravine is probably a few kilometers across. Do I want to say? Yeah, it has to be kilometers. Has to be kilometers across. It's a large ravine.
Yeah. Because if it's 2 kilometers deep.
Yeah. You're able to reach the bottom of the ravine, and you can kind of see from where you are on the ledge. You can see the large scorch mark that forms a crater in the middle of this ravine. There's no doubt that is the bomb site.
I whip out my tricorder, I look for readings.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward you guys to the bomb site for sake of time. This is going to be reason and security or science difficulty 2.
Feel free to spend a momentum.
That I am.
For everybody?
No. This is just. I love
Right. So you guys are at 7 technically at the moment.
you. We're probably
So-
going to spend for more questions, so.
Yep, I fully expect that. Especially with what I'm about to give him.
Oh no. Plasma torpedo.
My first.
Actually, no. It looks like this blast is consistent with a type of dilithium explosive.
Excuse?
Dilithium explosive. If I'm not mistaken, it's a type used by the Federation. Actually, that'll be my first question. My bonus question.
That would be your bonus. Based on your knowledge of such systems, since you're not really a security officer, you can guess that it probably might be. But there's still doubt there.
Ken did it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he's drunk. Yeah.
What did
Is
I
it
do last?
consistent with dilithium?
Well,
Explosive?
yes, that's literally.
I was RPing.
Oh.
Sure, that actually says dilithium, but I assume that's a typo.
Probably.
Is it dilithium?
Yes, it is a dilithium explosive.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm missing like every other word. I was like, why? What? There we go.
From me or from everyone else?
No, it was from everyone, but it seems to be back. My internet seems to be back now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm looking for any kind of evidence I could use to trace the origin of this device.
How?
Anything from a weapon signature we might be able to look for as a comparator to compare it to a manufacturer. Is there a little shard of the casing that got blown away someplace that survives? Maybe has a serial number on it. Give me something, anything.
All right. That roll will be insight and security or engineering, difficulty 4.
Could we use 2 momentum to bring that down to difficulty 3?
Yeah.
So that we can spend that extra momentum we've got.
Yep.
The other thing is, I am assuming you're conversing with the rest of us, and we do have a security and an
Assistance would be
engineering
great.
officer here to help you.
Yeah, assistance would be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, who has the higher insight security here? Mine totals to.
It's 11 and 14, so that would
I have a
be
13.
15.
Okay, I guess I'll be assisting you, Evans.
Wait, Evans.
No, Nave.
But I think Nave said he had something higher.
Oh, sorry, I'll be assisting you, Nate.
15.
Yes, that's one higher than mine.
I would have spent a momentum, but okay. Wait, inside engineering.
Yep, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said security or engineering.
Yep.
Okay, just gotta hope that Azula gets it. Okay.
Got it.
Whew. I really would have spent a momentum on that, but okay.
You're not there,
Right.
Captain.
Nave rolled this, right?
I'm an
Yeah.
assistant. I can't spend a momentum on this.
No, I'm aware, but
And it kind of makes sense because Nave would probably know this better than Ajula would.
I found traces of a casing that's known for a Federation torpedo design.
God damn it.
Come again?
Yep. Federation torpedo design.
You gotta be kidding me.
Good. Great.
I didn't do it.
Good news.
Ah, in your face.
I'm going to see if our communicators work, which was something I meant to do before we went down, but I didn't.
So,
I fixed a captain.
Captain Grennan here. I almost said Kirk.
You wish.
Good news and bad news.
Mostly bad
Okay.
news.
Mostly
All right.
bad, but we did find the bomb site.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Now, hit me with the news that's gonna make me want to slam my head into my armrest.
We found readings and casing consistent with a Federation torpedo.
All right, I'm going to pause the dialogue right there. I need everyone on the planet to roll a presence and whatever your highest discipline is, difficulty 2.
What?
Wait, hold on a second.
Focuses or no?
Okay.
No.
So presence and what? Sorry, I didn't get
Presence
that last
and
part.
whatever your highest discipline is.
I'm spending a momentum.
Oh no.
You just said
can
that in
we?
the open.
Can I use a momentum?
You guys
Should I?
really don't need to. Like, I think you guys are reading. Like, there's information that's going to whoever gets the highest.
Nice.
Well, I'm not getting it.
Knave is.
He rolled 2 focuses, and I said no focus. So,
Oh,
Oh.
so
so it's actually going to a Jula.
all right.
Wait, I rolled the focus? What do you mean?
You have to make sure that you say whether or not you're using a focus when you make a roll. The default
Mine-
is no.
All right. So as they're talking, a Jula, you find that.
You know, just as I was thinking of radioing the ship to ask if we had any torpedoes missing, I find the ship's registry number on the torpedo casing.
I didn't do it.
Good.
So Doctor, as you finish your last sentence, a Jula finds that.
Okay. Is he telling me?
Dun, dun.
I call the security chief. Yeah, I call them all over here. And say, Doc, Evans, come over here. And I gesture to what I'm seeing on the torpedo casing.
Oh, Captain, it gets worse.
Oh, son of a.
How much worse?
A lot.
I'm not sure I want to say it out loud, sir.
You're probably on screen, and you could probably just show them.
Oh, that's
and then
true.
I could just send this bit to the captain as well.
So literally,
Captain, we need to run an inventory
So-
right now to determine how many torpedoes are missing.
hang on a moment. I'm getting something from Ed.
I
I'm
swear it
assuming
wasn't
they,
me.
they just did that.
Yeah. So literally, you just So Captain Grennan stands up in his seat, and then over the intercom, you hear the sound of something shattering as Captain Grennan just dropped the mug containing hot chocolate that he was holding.
Captain, is Penn still drinking?
I didn't do it. Wasn't me. Don't look at me. Nope. Nope.
No. I need you all to get back here right now. I need you to bring that fragment with you.
Captain, we're 2 kilometers down. It took us 2 hours to get down here. Now if we're bringing pieces of torpedo casing, I'm not sure how long it'll take for us to get back up.
Captain, permission to just go down and
Probably
get them
small.
quickly.
I don't want to risk it, Pend.
Well,
Well,
idea, if we have communication, can we try the not tricorders?
If you
Teleporters.
can get a lock on
Yeah.
us. that
Can
would
they
be
get
the
a
best
lock on
thing.
us now? Yeah.
Yeah, could we?
Then we can figure out how to get the
I'll give you a,
shuttlecraft blade.
I'll give you a task.
Okay, what would it be?
Probably just 4.
Ugh.
+1. Well, the difficulty 2, +1 because they're not on a pad, and then +1 for the interference. I'll give them a task of 4.
I mean, what would the task be for them to get back up the cliff?
The way I figure, they would do that as we do the next scene on the ship.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. Because, I mean, Mr. Azula, it's going to take us time to do a complete inventory search. That's something that I can initiate from up here.
I suggest also reviewing who has access to our weapon systems.
Understood.
I would also suggest looking for any log of a weapon being fired.
Agreed.
We know Penn fired the one at that unknown raider ship.
Though I would say that's not a very likely way for it to have happened, as we probably would have seen the torpedo firing if it came directly from us.
Either way, the computer should have a record of it if it was fired by the ship.
Yes.
Agreed. Pend and I will handle the inquiries from our end. You just focus on getting back up the cliff with that little trinket you found. I'll have the Kismet's labs prepped for metallurgical analysis as soon as you arrive.
Captain, one more
Yes?
question. when you were on this planet before, were there any weapons discharges?
What do you mean?
Could they have gotten a hold of one of our weapons prior?
I don't think so.
The last time we were here? Okay, just wanted to double check.
Also, Captain, this may be something the Enlightened One will want to hear from you as opposed to from the grapevine.
Agreed. Agreed. In that case,
If I remember correctly, 1 or 2 shots were fired at some of the ships that were approaching the Kismet originally.
during our original encounters.
Yes, though I don't remember if any of those shots were delivered by torpedo, if those were phasers.
Those
fired.
were phasers.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
you'll
we'll,
have them, I guess.
we'll have
Were
to
your
see.
were your shields down at any point when you were driving around there? They could have just stolen it off your.
Again, I think we're getting a little too deep into
Oh,
speculation
sorry,
right now.
sorry.
We
My
have
bad.
we need to get moving on this before
Hi.
the situation gets any worse.
My bad.
The 4 of you should get up here to should get up with cautious haste. I'll see you when you get here, and I'll give you all a rundown of the situation when you return. Kismet out. And now Brennan turns to Mr. Penn and he says, Mr. Penn, do you think you'd be up for doing a security sweep?
Sure. And if we interview people, do you want me the good cop or the bad cop? Because I can be bad cop.
I'd prefer you take someone. I'd prefer you to take someone from security to do it. I have my own. I have my own task to complete, and you see him look at the view screen with the Zarkonian planet right in the middle.
Well, good luck with that.
So I guess Penda's gonna leave the bridge.
Yep, I will take Tachibana with me, and I shall start a security sweep, and depending on what I find, interrogations.
Mm-hmm. In that case, so
By the way, is Kel on the ship at this point, or has he been transferred temporarily to the Hadfield?
Kel?
Suitland.
Oh, no, he's still on the Hadfield right now.
Didn't I knock him
He's an
out last
empath. I
session?
want to use it.
I'm sorry. Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah, that's the same
Yeah,
guy.
That's the guy I brought over as my temp character.
Oh, jeez, I wish you would let me know that before, because I might have accidentally created continuity flaw, but whatever. So no, he'd still be on the Kismet, because this is only like a couple hours later.
Because he has the empath and investigative techniques focus.
Okay. That could work.
So what did you guys do to me?
What do you mean?
Was there a character that's on the ship that's not on the ship?
No, there's a character that's on the ship and is on the ship, but Izula decided to use him for the Hadfield game, and I wasn't aware that they were one and the same character.
Okay.
But I think it'll be okay. I
Just call the Hadfield character another name, and call it a day.
Yep.
'Cause that's kind of how they're supposed to work on fill-ins. You're supposed to essentially make a new character
Yep.
to fill in.
Mm-hmm. So, anywho, so actually, right before we go to them doing their thing, just right before we do that, I would like to call down to the planet's surface.
Okay.
No, I know you haven't, but I'd like to do one last thing to set up my scene before you guys do yours. So I'd like to call down to the Enlightened One.
All right. Yep. She appears on screen. Things have calmed down a little bit more in the command center.
Well, that's good, because we've discovered some troubling information. Information that I think you should see.
Is this something I should really see in person, Captain?
Yes, you should.
Very well. I will prepare my departure, and I'll meet you within the hour.
Very good. And the captain just sinks into his chair and just puts his hand in his face to his head and just, he just slumps.
All right. And I think we'll go to Pend at this point.
Yep.
So yes, I'll be scanning the logs of who would have access to our torpedoes, when or if they've been fired, if our inventory, and trying to find out who the hell and what the hell happened.
All right.
You should probably make everything a bit more complicated due to him still having a hangover.
So exactly what are you doing first? Like, let's start there. Like, where are you at on the ship?
I'll probably be heading down to where we keep our store of torpedoes to take inventory.
Okay. So roll insight with your security or engineering difficulty 1.
Is it the same cargo bay where we keep the chicken?
You have no idea.
No. So like the torpedoes are definitely stored in like armory.
I'll spend the momentum because I've got shit inside.
Okay. You guys are down to 3, FYI.
3 momentum.
Yep.
Well, hot damn.
And you get 3 back, so you're up to 6. You literally rolled a 1. You did.
Yeah.
All right, Penn. I'm pretty sure you know what that's gonna say.
Well, shit. Can I look through the logs to find out when it went missing? Because I assume we would have to keep a regular inventory of what we have, considering these are explosive weapons.
I'll let that be a question. So you'll be down to 5.
Yep, that's fine.
There you are.
Did you send a message?
Hold on. I'm thinking about what to get.
Okay. No, it's just when we're saying there you are.
Oh. No, this is how to do it. So the armory officer actually tells you right before you walked in, he was just about to report a torpedo missing. So essentially he is saying he just found it.
So we had full stock yesterday or at the last count, just not now.
He says, as far as I know, all these were intact.
Okay, and who has access to the torpedoes?
Any security officer should. As well as the senior and command staff.
Would you have to use your codes or access to get to them, to take one with you?
Of course, you have to input your command codes to even enter this room.
Well, give me the codes of anyone who's been in this room since it's gone missing.
And then so he gives you the codes of probably about 4 or 5 officers that have been in and out, all security officers.
Okay. I will hit my comms badge. I'll say all 4 officers report to the brig immediately, and I'll ask for a separate security team to meet me at the brig as well.
Okay. And we'll fast forward to the brig.
Does that say how many cells do we have?
I mean, we're a ship that can hold 500 people. I'd say
We've got at
Probably
least
pretty
4.
sizable.
So we've at least
Yeah.
got 4. Okay.
Yeah.
we might have like 10.
Okay. I point to 4
Could just
cells,
repurpose a
4
conference
people. Each one of you in a cell now.
And they're all looking at you with like confusion on their faces. Like, what is this about, Lieutenant?
You'll be told as soon as you all get inside of a cell now. That's how serious this is.
And they all just kind of back down, still puzzled, don't know if they should raise an objective, but they all do it.
Computer, raise shields.
And the force field beams come on for each of the cells.
Now, we're missing a torpedo. You 4 are the only 4 people who have had access since it's gone missing. So one of you 4 have taken a torpedo. I don't care who it is, but one of you are telling me what I want to know. Is that understood?
And they all just kind of nod their heads, like. And one of them says, "We don't know what you're talking about. We used the armory for a poker game. We didn't take any torpedo."
Well, we're missing one, and you 4 are the only people who have accessed it in that time. So the odds are one of you 4 have taken one. So
we haven't figured out the delivery system yet.
So, while 3 of you stay in there, one of you will be coming with me to the conference room with 2 security officers and the captain. We'll be having a discussion. When we're finished, you'll re-enter this cell, and another will take his place. Is that understood?
They all nod.
Okay, so I'll designate 2 security officers to stay with me and the rest to stay in this room. Do not let anyone leave, do not let anyone come out without either mine or the captain's permission. Is that understood?
Yes, Command. Yes, Lieutenant.
Man, you just channeled Varro there, didn't you?
No, this is angry Tellarite right now.
Angry, slightly drunk Tellarite.
So I'm just going to pick any one of them. It doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
You come with me, and I'll tap on the comms badge. Captain, can you meet me in the conference room for the start of the interrogations?
Captain's, you hear a sigh from the other end. Yes, I can. I'll be there waiting.
Thank you.
And he goes to the conference room.
And we'll go ahead and enter with Penn's party.
Right? Who's suspect number 1?
Suspect number 1 is actually a chief petty officer.
Alrighty.
So, this is one of the 4 individuals, Captain, who accessed the armory during the time the torpedo went missing. The other 3 are in the brig, held in different cells, until we finished with an investigation of each of them. So, Petty Officer, what were you doing in the armory?
As I explained to you before, Lieutenant, we have a weekly poker game that we have in the armory.
So,
Why pick such a high security location for a poker game? Holodecks are open.
We're all security officers. This seemed more apt.
in a room full of explosives, are you a dumbass?
And he just kind of looks at you. Lieutenant, with your reputation, you think this would be enjoyable. That's what we think of this.
Oh, this isn't enjoyable right now.
Trust me, Pend here isn't. Lieutenant Pend here is not having fun, which, well, let's be honest, I don't think I've seen in a long time.
So, how long were you and your 3 friends in the armory?
I don't know, a few hours?
A few hours. And are you claiming that you were the only 4 in the armory during those few hours?
Yes.
And nothing seemed out of the ordinary?
Not that I know of. I mean, we're in there to play a game.
First question, just that I want to make note of. Is he wearing he's wearing his combat, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's like all 4 of the officers here were in uniform.
Okay. More specifically, I was asking about the combat, but okay then.
Yeah, it's a standard combat.
Got it. Okay.
And I assume we will be able to confirm your whereabouts through your comm badge?
Yes, I have nothing to hide. We're in there playing a poker game.
And out of nowhere, because I'm not going to shout at 10 past 1 in the morning, what the hell did you do with the torpedo? I'm going to shout it really loud at him to try and catch him off guard.
And he's not even fazed by this. He says, "Are you accusing me of something, Lieutenant? If you are, just come out and say it."
Mr. Pend, I think that's enough. Chief, you are dismissed for now, but we may need to talk to you again further.
Very well, Captain. And he turns and walks away, I'm assuming with the 2 security officers in tow?
Yep, back to the break.
Thank you for your cooperation.
It was worth a go.
No, it wasn't Pend. No, it... Four men sitting in the armory having a poker game. You think one of them might have stolen the torpedo casing or marked the torpedo casing with some kind of beacon for it to be beamed out?
More than likely, because something like that doesn't just up and vanish. And even if they had nothing to do with it, then if it did just go, they're going to hear something.
Right. I keep forgetting, yeah, so, beaming something during warp does not happen, right?
It's tricky.
Very tricky. Right. So, I have a question. Did this poker game coincide with us leaving warp? I'm trying to get a timeline here.
So the timeline Penn gave was who was in there when the guy noticed that the torpedo was missing, which from the guy's admission was not long because he just found it. Penn also asked for the command codes of everyone who was in here since it was ported. It was those 4.
Okay.
So you're probably talking a few hours here at most.
Yeah. Okay.
Apologies.
Alrighty.
I'm sure we'll get the next one.
Yes. Please do. Speaking of which, what species was that human?
What species was that? Human?
Sorry, did I say human? What species was that chief petty officer?
Yeah, it's human.
Human.
All 4 of them are human.
Oh Christ! Ooh, wow, that was. Anyone get the license plate on that starship?
Maybe the captain has been hitting the sauce a little bit.
Can we get the second one?
Yeah, I'll head down. I assume the first guy's back in his cell.
Yep.
I'll just point to the one next to him. You, follow me.
And this time it is a scared-looking crewman. And he very cautiously leaves the cell.
Okay. What rank?
Crewman.
Okay. Crewman, you okay there? You're looking a little tense.
Sorry, Captain. I've never had anything like this happen to me before.
I'm just going to stand behind him, leering over.
Don't mind Pend. He's understandably distressed about this whole torpedo situation. But, currently all we have to go on is a poker game that took place in the, was a poker game that took place in there, around the time that the torpedo went missing.
I don't know anything about a missing torpedo.
Right. What's your job?
I'm a security officer, Captain.
Ah. Very good. Very good. You do the strong lifting to keep us in good stand. Got it. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary during your poker game?
He just shakes his head, like looking even more nervous and scared.
I want to do an insight security check on him.
Okay.
Is this fear out of him being a officer who is being suspected of something when he did nothing wrong, or is this because he's a guy who's about to be found?
Probably the first one.
Oh, okay. I don't even have to make a check.
No.
Okay. Very well then. I'd say bring in the next one.
Okay, you back to the cell. I'll get the third one now.
And then this one is
So, hang on. Before he comes in, I turned to Penn and I said, "Penn, I have an idea. Follow my lead on this."
Do I get to shout at people?
You'll see.
Okay.
All right. So there's two people left. I'll let Pend pick whoever it is. There's probably a lieutenant rank, and then there's like a mid-ranked enlisted that you have not talked to left.
I'll
Yeah.
probably go for the enlisted first.
Okay. He's probably a petty officer first class. I think that makes sense. I think that is a rank in Star Trek.
It is.
Yeah. Petty officer first class. So, I don't know.
Petty officer, with me now.
Lieutenant. And he follows.
Lead him to the conference room, Captain.
So, do you mind introducing yourself to us?
My name. So he's not actually pausing. I'm pausing because I need.
I don't need his name.
I am petty officer first class. Names. Where's the name? Gibson.
Ah. Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Gibson. So, you are aware of the missing torpedo casing.
Yes, Captain.
So, I understand that, this torpedo went missing around the same time that you and a group of your friends were busy in a rather heated game of, blackjack.
Blackjack, Captain. We were playing poker.
Very good. Very good. Just making sure. you understand the need to confirm details, you know.
Of course, Captain. Am I being suspected of something?
Not as things currently stand. Did anything stand out to you as odd about that poker game? Anything out of the ordinary?
And the petty officer shakes his head. Like, no, Captain. We do this once a week. Everything seemed fine. I mean, nothing was misplaced.
How long have you all been playing poker together?
Oh, couple months maybe.
And have you all known each other that long?
Well, Captain, we work in security together. I mean, it's enough time to form a friendship. I consider
yes.
these gentlemen my friends.
Oh, yes, of course. I was just wondering whether or not any of them were new to your group.
No, Captain, we've all been serving under you since we came into the Expanse.
Oh, very good, very good. In that case, that'll be all.
He just nods and turns out the door.
Okay. Well, Mr. Penda, I think we have one more to go.
Yeah, and I see where you're going with this. Okay.
Yep. I like to think that Varro's rubbing off on.
So I shall go and retrieve the lieutenant.
All right, and we'll just go ahead and fast forward back into the conference room.
Lieutenant, take a seat.
And he sits at one of the chairs around the conference table.
Okay. Well, Lieutenant, I hope you understand the need for this inquiry.
I understand, Captain. I don't like the idea of one of my torpedoes just up and vanishing on us.
So, are you aware of why you and your friends are under suspicion?
Oh, the lieutenant spelled it out for us rather nicely.
Yes, I understand that the torpedo went missing at a time that you and your friends were playing a rather vigorous game of gin rummy.
Who plays gin rummy? We're playing poker, Captain.
Of course. Of course. You have to make sure. Confirm all the details, you know? Did anything stand out to you as odd about that game?
No. It's a normal game. We tend to do it every week.
Right. Who started the game?
Well, some of the enlisted got to talking, let's do something after work, blow off some steam. Obviously, they're not big on the holodeck, so they decided a game of poker in the armory would fit their liking.
Yeah, harkens back to the old days of playing cards around a wooden table on the old merchant ships of old. Suppose?
I think that's where they got the idea from, Captain.
Right.
And I think one of them seen a movie, something about a submarine and playing cards on top of a torpedo casing. I don't know.
Is that what you all play? Is that what you all do?
Obviously not on top of a torpedo. But I think he wanted to replicate that feeling.
What do you play on?
Oh, we just bring in a little table.
Little four-leg table?
Yeah.
All right. See. And all of you been playing together as the same group for the past couple months now?
And he just nods his head, yes.
Understood. Well, in that case, Lieutenant, you are free to go.
Thank you, Captain. And he gets up, kind of looks around, shakes his head a little bit, and then walks out.
do you think, Pend?
I mean, I'd like to do that little trick again on the first two because we can silence the cells.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, it's looking like these 4 idiots messing around in a armory might not have stolen it.
I agree, but until everything blows over, better safe than sorry, I say.
If you want to accompany me down to the cells, we can try that little trick, and if that doesn't work, I can have a bit of a deep dive in the armory to see if I find anything else.
Well, I should be the one to ask them the question, because as things stand, well, no, that's the thing though. They already know that we know that they were playing poker.
Yeah.
That trick won't work on. The bluff would have only worked the first time.
So, shall we just leave him in there for an hour for being idiots while I go do a full inspection of the armory?
Yes, I'd say do a second check of the armory. See if you can bring any validity to the claims of their poker game. Again, possibility that this poker game of theirs was behind it, I find kind of unlikely at this point, but we should keep them under a close watch for now until everything is cleared up.
Captain, with your permission, I would like for no one else to be in the armory and only for Evans to join when he gets back up to the ship.
Understood.
Thank you. We'll return to the armory.
All right.
Okay.
So what are you doing in the armory?
First of all, I'll be kicking everyone out.
Okay.
So
they all comply because obviously you're a superior rank.
Senior staff.
that and I'm an angry, hungover Telrite.
Oof.
So I'll be first doing a physical check over around where the torpedoes are stored to see if there is any signs of devices, markings,
Force
anything.
entry.
Yeah.
No, nothing stands out in your just from a visual check. There's no scratches. There's nothing out of place.
Okay. Then I will be going through the security footage and seeing what I can find through a deep dive.
Is there security footage? That's one of those things that Star Trek has always been really weird about.
Is there a what?
Is one of those things that Star Trek has
Is
always
there's-
been really weird about is that they never really have security footage.
Or would the internal sensors have an equivalent record?
Yeah, that's really what I'll be doing. I'll be going to the main system in the armory and going through everything over the last 7 days if need be.
All right, that I can work with. So, how do I want to do this? Is there a way I can roll dice in secret?
GM
You should be
rolls.
able to whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's GM roll / roll something.
No, it's /GM roll
Yeah.
space
you can-
whatever you want to roll.
You can do it. You can,
Yeah,
or you can
roll.
also
Slash.
do it in the little dice menu by clicking GM.
All right. So, did you guys see that?
No.
No, I did not.
Well, I did because I'm technically a GM.
Okay.
I'm ignoring it.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna ignore whatever the hell that means.
Okay, Pend. You are going to roll a control using engineering or security, difficulty 3.
Okay.
Oof. Feel free to spend a little momentum.
Or determination.
I
This
don't.
seems like a determination kind of time.
I don't think I can get away with either composure or poker face right now. So that's a no.
Poker face.
Probably not, Mr. Pend.
Yeah, I figured as much.
I mean, I'd spend 3 momentum.
Yeah.
This I'd be willing to spot up 3 momentum for.
Okay, so you're rolling 4 dice?
Correct.
Okay.
There you go. Hey, you did it.
Where are you pinned? Bam.
Okay, would I know which specific one or just a one?
That's all you know at the moment.
I mean, but it sounds like you've got a lead.
Yeah, I've got a lead, but we've got multiple places by that name. Do I know if it was a specific place or was it just general area? Like, was it a I'll just say, is it like Cargo Bay 1, Cargo Bay 2?
Or is it just a cargo bay?
Yeah.
Please let it be Cargo Bay 2.
It's a fucking chicken.
Who is the fucking
Sporting
chicken the whole
character, I can
time?
play it.
What a ruse!
Rooster?
Yeah, no, you cannot. It's just from one of the cargo bays.
And how many do we have?
On this ship, 3 or 4, I'd say.
Ugh.
Okay,
Okay,
could I spend a momentum to narrow it down?
No.
No.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. Well, you should give us the information so we actually know
Yeah.
what's going on.
So I'll comms up to the captain. Captain, are you in private?
It can be just a moment, and the captain walks over to his ready room and goes in. Okay, what do you have for me, Pend?
It seems like there was some transportation in here. It seems to come from one of the cargo bays. I can't get anything more at this time, but I'm going to start going through starting at the first and go through them all.
Well, the good news is, it sounds like you know exactly when you're looking for. You just need to go through the cargo transporter logs in each of 4 rooms.
Yeah, but that's still multiple cargo bays to go through. So I really need the away team to get back so I can cover more ground.
Understood.
This is the call for secondary character man.
Well, actually, question for Pend, though. Would you say that at this point we consider the 4 suspects exonerated?
I would say so for now. There seems to be no evidence of tampering, any markings, anything left over. It just seems that these 4 idiots were just playing poker.
Mm-hmm. Wrong place at the wrong time, so...
I'm sure Evans will still like a word with them, but I don't think they're torpedo thieves.
In that case, just have them confine themselves to quarters for the time being.
Understood. And I'll start my search on Cargo Bay 1 while the rest come back from the surface.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'll call down to the security teams and tell them just escort them to their quarters and have them confine themselves to quarters for now.
And they do it. I think this will probably be an excellent time for the away team to turn to the ship. I think we could safely say enough time has passed for them to come back.
We are dead tired after having just climbed up and down 2 kilometers.
Yeah, essentially.
Just as a side note, Ed, considering I know it's one of the cargo bays, I probably would have given the same order for the cargo bays as I did with the armory, which was
Okay.
everyone get out.
Yeah. So when you get to the first one, there's no one in it anyway.
But yeah, apart from that, that was the only little add-on bit I wanted.
Yeah. So we could either deal with the away team coming back.
Yeah, start the away team
And-
first.
All right. So yeah, we'll go ahead and the away team just landed in the shuttle bay.
Right, and I actually will be there to meet them.
All right.
Oh, that shuttle must smell great.
I need a sonic shower.
Yeah. So yeah, Captain, when the doors open, you just smell this smell of sweat
Ah,
and dirt and exhaust. You know.
well, welcome back to the ship, everyone.
Glad to be here, Captain.
I wish I could give you the order to go and wash yourselves up, but unfortunately, right now, we don't have the liberty of that. I have assignments for each and every one.
Did you find out the origin of that torpedo, Captain?
Yes, I did. Mr. Penn performed his job admirably. It would appear that somebody in one of the cargo bays managed to beam one of our torpedoes out of the armory.
Somebody on our ship.
Yes, somebody on our ship. And you see that the captain looks very, very upset about that. And he says, I think it's clear now more than ever that this is something that we just can't stand idly by on. So I have jobs for each and every one of you. Evans, I want you to join, Evans and Nave, I want you to join Penn in examining the transporter logs and the, I want you to assist Penn in his investigation. Nave, I want you to assist him with the transporter logs. Evans, I want you to help with overall investigation. Yes, Nave?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes.
Just to make sure I heard correctly, you wanted me to assist Penn with the investigation?
No. Nave and Evans are going to assist Penn with the investigation. Mr. Ajula, I want you to take that bit of torpedo casing that you found, and as long of odds as it may be, I want you to see if you can find any.
My other recommendation, Captain, I suggest having every single member of the crew report in to their superior and make sure we have a head count to see if anyone's missing or someplace where they shouldn't be.
I think that is a satisfactory idea. Mr. Evans, see to it.
All right.
In that case, I want the three of you to go to your positions. Dr. Efrix, I want you with me.
Sir.
Dismissed. So I guess we're all going to go off to do our own things. Who should we start with?
I'll let you guys decide where we start here.
I guess I have the simplest task, just going over physical evidence.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you looking for?
I'm taking this torpedo casing into the science lab, and I'm trying to determine if I can identify the serial number or anything else I can use to determine the just anything about the delivery system for the torpedo, where
Well,
when
we
it was
know
taken.
Well, here's the thing. We know about when the torpedo was taken, and we know what torpedo it was. I want to see if you can pull any trace evidence off of it. That might give us a clue as to who might be behind this.
As in any possible, biological traces that weren't vaporized in the enormous explosion. I'll try it. What's this going to be?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, I figured.
Got it. Yeah,
I figured.
figured. Okay, I guess this is just one of those. Is there anything that we could get off this casing at all?
The only thing that you're able to find out about it is that that one torpedo by itself would not have been powerful enough to cause the split. However, you do notice that there is energy traces, Zirconian energy traces, also within the torpedo.
What's meant by Zirconian energy traces? Is this consistent with the explosion being amplified by whatever technology they use?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I think the captain probably knows what I just said in regards to that as well.
Yep, I see where this is going.
So where do we go next?
If we're just doing physical evidence really quickly, I'd just like to go over internal sensor logs.
Well, that's something that the investigation is taking care of.
Okay.
Pend already did, basically.
Anyone else need technical expertise for focus sensor systems?
I think we're good for now.
All right. So where do we want to go next? We got the captain and Dr. Ekfrix or the cargo bay?
Well, it depends, Ed. If we go to Dr. Efrix and the captain, would we be able to have the meeting with the Enlightened One, or do we have to wait?
Okay, so if that's what you guys were really doing, let's go ahead and head toward Pend and them. Let's do that first.
Yeah,
because I think I want that to happen first.
Got it.
Ed, has everybody reported into their superior? Are there any people missing from the ship?
Everyone is accounted for.
So I assume Evans and Nave walk into the cargo bay.
God, I need a cargo bay door. Yeah. these generic ones for the normal doors do not work. I need that sound, you know. Okay, cool. The Voyager ones would probably work if someone could find those. But yes, Evans and Nave walk into the cargo bay 1.
You two. Let's probably make this entire thing go a bit faster. Has the captain caught you up?
I haven't caught many of the details yet.
Okay. Well, first of all, you have 4 idiots playing poker next to explosives every week. You should probably talk to them about that.
Okay, yeah, there's going to be a conversation about that.
But going through the sensor logs over the last week, it seems like there was a transporter that was used from one of the cargo bays. I can't be in 4 places at once, so I'm going 1 through 4, and I've made sure all of the cargo bays are locked down. So once we're done here, on to the next one.
And did you say this was done last week?
I know I checked the logs from within the last week, but this happened within the last couple of hours.
Okay.
I was being thorough.
Okay, I thought we had a serious problem with stock checking for a moment there.
No, this is definitely a few hours thing. I was just making sure nothing else had disappeared over the last week.
That was prudent.
So, Evans, can you help me with accessing security files? And Nave, can you possibly head to the transporter pad in here and find out what you can?
Nave is...
Oh, Nave is gone.
Yeah, Nave.
Well, shit.
Well, we can start with...
Yeah, me and Evans can just start going through security logs first.
Alright, so what exactly are you looking for?
So from the time of when this happened, was how many people were in this cargo bay, considering when I got here it was empty? And who really would have been accessing a transporter? Well, first of all, who was in here at the time?
Alright, I'm gonna set something up, hold on.
Or if Evans has anything he wants to look into first, please be my guest.
I mean, yeah, whoever was in here at the time is really the most pertinent thing in my mind at the moment.
Alright, it's gonna be a difficulty of 4. And you two can assist each other.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have cautious security, don't you?
That I do.
So if you want to take points, because you can spend and re-roll if needed.
All right. And what was that? Was it
Control and engineering, or control and security.
Oh, control, even better.
Yeah, so if you
I
you take
I
points.
assume it's count as a tactical.
So you can spend a momentum.
Yes, I'll spend momentum and get a third dice.
Okay.
With no focus, I highly doubt tactical system work for this.
What's the difficulty?
4.
Yeah.
What was the question?
It was basically who was in here at the time.
No, I'm. Evans was saying something. I didn't quite catch that.
I assume tactical systems does not apply.
No.
Okay, just check.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
More
I probably spelt that wrong, but
Welcome back, Nave.
Yep. Sorry, I got kicked. Disconnected for some reason. I'm back.
Oh.
What did I miss?
Not much. We started in on our investigation, and Pend and Evan made a work.
I think
Very
that's how
cool.
it is spelled.
I certainly hope this is just a repeat of what
So what did the sensor log say? We were going over sensor log.
it looks like. Cecil's command codes were used.
Oh, mother!
Who?
Cecile's what? Sorry?
Cecil, our Cation science officer support character.
Oh.
So let's just
Captain's girlfriend.
keep this on the quiet for a second. Nave, can you go over to the teleport pad and figure out who accessed recently, or in this case, last, in this transporter bay?
Yes, sir.
Same roll.
He wasn't
Difficulty
here.
4. Oh, so it'd be a control engineering difficulty.
Could someone assist him?
Both of you can.
Oh, thank God for that. I've got
Control engineering. What?
difficulty 4. So do you want to spend a momentum for an extra dice?
He has bold. Never mind.
Oh, or do you want to give him a
My
threat?
focus isn't on, right? Because last time, I mean, on my screen, the focus isn't actually indicated, but is it using it? I mean,
It might have been. I always double check the numbers anyway, so it's
he
not a
has-
big.
Well, he has bold security, but cautious engineering.
Yeah, so if you want to spend
Oh,
a
okay.
momentum for an extra dice and a reroll, if needed. And do you have any focuses available?
computers.
I will take computers.
Okay, so 3 dice, focus,
Focus
yes.
on.
And you do have a reroll.
This is control engineering, right?
Yep. So
Reroll
reroll
one.
one of those. Okay. 2 successes.
And both me and Evans are helping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just making sure I've got everything set up. So that's 3.
And this is engineering only, right? As far as
Oh,
the system goes.
It's either engineering or security.
Oh, I would have used security in that case.
It doesn't matter either way. You made the.
Oh, oops! I'm only rolling 1 dice here.
Yeah, you rolled a 6, Ben. You were making it.
Oh,
And so I'm gonna give this to all 3 of you. But unfortunately, it's stuff you guys already know.
yeah, I think we are. I think we might.
Still, you didn't.
Hey, can I contact Efrix? Or I'll just be on open comm. Anytime I'm breaking the 4th wall, I'm on open comm. You can just say that. Just to save the sound bites. Yeah.
So,
I'm just gonna ask her if she can do like a genetic test on what's his name again?
Her name, Cecile.
Well,
Oh, did I say that to the wrong person?
no, you.
yeah, but you wouldn't have any idea about Cecile.
Yeah.
We've not told anyone yet.
No. He's I just figured that out right
Yeah,
now.
Nave got the information when we were looking through the transport information.
Yeah.
That's why I'm contacting her and asking to see if she can do a
Well,
genetic test on Cecile
hey.
to see if there's any alteration to, if she is who she says she is, pretty much.
Well,
She's not
hold
like-
on. You should.
Well,
give...
it's her command codes, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's her, but
Yeah, and
Exactly.
first
it's
of all,
not biologically.
we should probably isolate Cecile just to make sure.
Can we look for like fur on the ground?
Wow.
She's Acacian.
Well,
The
everyone was
what?
supposed to report
Yeti?
in to their immediate superior. Her immediate superior is me. So what happened after she reported in person to me?
It was Bigfoot.
It wouldn't have been in person. She would said, "I'm on the ship."
The
a
idea was to
shapeshifter.
verify that everyone was there.
Yeah. Hey, Ajula, I'm on the ship.
Okay, so what we'll do then is computer locate Cecile.
Lieutenant Cecile is in her quarters.
Okay, so Evans, if you want to take a security team to her quarters and escort her to the brig for now. Nave, I'll comms up to Ejula. Ejula,
Jula here.
can you access the security footage for Cargo Bay 1, please, from this time stamp? And I'll just like the relevant time.
Sure, I'll try. Was this a test?
Yeah, it's gonna be a check. One moment.
And we have no momentum.
We have one.
Oh, we do.
I got you guys at one.
What was the difficulty of that last check?
It was difficulty 4.
We only just made it, and we had to spend our.
You,
last...
I think you guys had one more than.
Oh, then I was
Yeah.
keeping track of. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I keep track of it in my sheet as well.
Ajula, your task is going to be control engineering, difficulty 4.
Oh my god.
If you guys saw what
Now,
saw what I'm rolling, you guys would be amazed too.
I have
I do see
constantly
what you're
watching,
rolling.
which reduces the difficulty of tasks to notice a threat by 1.
You got what? Hold on, what?
I am constantly watching. It reduces the difficulty
No,
of any
not in this
task
case.
to notice a threat or hazard.
Yep, nope, not in this case.
Yeah.
Could I possibly get Nave to help from this side?
Nope.
No.
I will allow the ship to assist with computer sensors, I think.
Or computer sensors.
Yeah, because you're using internal sensors and stuff like that to try to.
Computers and sensors are both systems.
Oh shit. Then it would be computers, and where's the ship?
Engineering or security.
Probably security.
Computer security, probably.
Yeah, computer security, I think.
Okay, that's fine.
So is there anything we can spend, put towards, do anything?
I'm giving you 3 threat, Ed, to give
Okay.
me 4 dice.
Okay. Ooh, that is a.
Unless I can use a, can I use a plate close to the vest value to give me a determination on this?
I don't think that one would be applying.
However, I actually, here's what I would suggest to you. I'd suggest spending a momentum and giving him 2 threat, as opposed to giving him all 3.
Very well. If we have the momentum, that's what I'll do.
Yep. You got 1 momentum and then 2 threat. Cool.
Yeah, don't want to give him that much.
So just so you guys are aware, I'm at 7.
Do you get a reroll?
Since it relates to sensor systems, I can re-roll one of them, I think.
Is it sensors? Or I think it's
Oh, there's a
sensors or computers.
complication.
Yeah, I mean, technical expertise, I believe, is computers. So yes. It's assisted by the ship's computers or sensors. So yes, you can re-roll the complication.
So roll a 2.
Actually, hold on. I had my complication range at
Yeah.
4. Shouldn't have.
Yeah. I don't know how that happened. So he actually didn't get a complication, but you could still re-roll something.
Yeah.
Let me re-roll that.
And you might want it to be the ship because it's always. Because it always has a focus.
It
I have a focus too, sensor systems.
Oh, okay, yeah.
doesn't matter if we didn't get it.
Right, yeah, no. You are unable to find the footage.
I haven't rolled the ship yet.
I
Yes,
did.
yeah,
I
Captain did.
No, never mind.
Nope. So, a hard no. Ugh. Oh well.
So, Evans, if you want to go ahead and pick up Cecile, take it to the brig, and we'll take it from there.
Right, I'll go ahead and do that, and you might want to look for some biological material in here, skin cells, hair follicles, etc.
Yeah, so I'll see what I can find.
When I hear that you're accusing somebody from my department, I want to be there at the interview.
I don't think you've heard anything yet.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
No, all I did was ask you to find security footage, which you didn't find.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and go to her quarters. Where's the commander when I need him?
Hey.
To play Cecile.
Oh, that's right. With the damn Russian accent. Inexplicable Russian accent that he gave Sil.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, FYI. Okay,
Oh,
so
come on.
Evans, you are right outside the door.
Okay. I press on the ringer.
Enter. Yep, I should hit the doors with that, shouldn't I?
Oh yes, by the by, Ed, guess what
Mhm.
I found?
Yes, that is what I need.
Ah.
That's what I need for the cargo bays. Yes, because I think that's a much more convincing cargo bay door than those.
Yeah, that's the actual cargo bay door from Star Trek.
Yep, that's what I was looking for. So if you could throw it on here, awesome.
I did.
All right, where is it?
It's under general sound effects, but you
Oh.
can move it up to your
Yep, I am.
Ed's most used if you want.
I am. Because I think you guys, especially with that chicken, are going to be using this a lot more.
Oh, yes. We are.
Plus, the cargo bay is just a thing.
Yay! And I like how they close too. Awesome. Right. So yes, Evans, you are in her quarters, and you kind of see her just kind of looking out the window, with tears running down her face.
Hello, Cecile.
Wait, are you you're a lieutenant, right?
Yes, Lieutenant Junior.
And she calls you lieutenant.
Is everything all right here?
And he just kind of gives a big sigh. And she goes on to say, "I think I know why you're here."
Oh, you do?
I was the one that gave them the torpedo.
Ah,
God damn it!
I was hoping this was just a repeat of last month. Or no, several months ago. I wish I had a recourse, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to take you to the brig at the moment.
And she just kind of like gives out a giant sigh and walks towards you.
Security team. Security team.
Tears still running down her face.
sent a message to Varro saying, "Well, I hope you enjoyed playing Cecile because you won't be doing that again."
Yes, I'm gonna walk beside her, guiding her to the brig then. The security folks in tow.
Yep. She offers no resistance. She's obviously like very distraught about this situation.
Is there... Wait, no one's in the brig anymore, right?
No, well, they're all
Okay.
confined to quarters until you can dress them down.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so... Yeah, I'll put her in one of the cells and call up the captain.
Brennan here.
You may want to come down to Cargo Bay 2. Or not Cargo Bay 2, I'm sorry. The brig.
Understood. Have you figured out who's behind this?
Well, yes, unfortunately. The person who it is, unfortunately.
Good. I'll be right down. Captain goes down. Brig.
And when you enter the brig, you see Cecile behind one of the force fields.
You see, the captain, he walks in and he sort of has that confident stride that captains have. The moment he sees Cecile, he slows. Hands drop to his side, and he just stops. No. No.
Yes.
Evans is looking very apologetic right now.
Evans, please tell me.
I wish this were just a formality. That's originally what I went to her quarters for. But she did give me a confession.
So?
And she looks up at you with tears in her eyes still. Captain?
Didn't.
And she just kind of nods her head up and down. As her head goes back into like her chest.
And you see the tears starting to well up in Captain's eyes as he just slow walks toward force field. And he sinks to his knees, starts crying, and he just starts slamming his fist into the force field. No, no, no!
And the third hit from the force field kind of knocks you off your feet and onto your back. It is a force field, by the way.
Yes, it is.
That would hurt.
But to the captain's credit, it took 3 hits to do that.
The captain is...
He's just weak.
It's a high tolerance.
I was
for
gonna
it.
say the first two
Fortunate.
weeks didn't actually hit.
He slowly
Hulk
gets
mad.
himself... Slowly gets himself to his feet. And... he walks out. Just tears streaming down his face.
All right, where do we want to go from here?
How about the part where somebody tells me a member of my department was responsible?
I think to a degree, like, from me and Evans and Nay, who were keeping that on the down low until the captain decides what he wants to do. That's why we were purposely keeping it radio silent on names.
Yeah, like, I haven't even told Penn that we have confirmation on this.
Once again, the Kismet saving the universe.
After
Okay,
having
okay,
been the
Evan,
reason why it's in trouble.
Fuck you, Evan.
All right, so moving along, no doubt the Enlightened One has probably already landed on the ship
Mm.
and is awaiting word.
Oh, this is great. This is lovely.
If you'd like, you could have told me to just go meet her. Since we were together when you got called away.
So, you see the captain walk onto the bridge, probably, like, he walks onto the bridge. Dr. Efrix, you see that he has been crying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably at this point where, like, some ensign, like, who isn't even facing the captain, gets, like, the words, like, Captain, the Enlightened One has arrived on Kismet. And Brennan just turns to Efrix and says, you go down and get her and just, bring her up to my ready room. Okay?
Of course, Captain.
And we'll go ahead and fast forward to the ready room scene.
Enter.
And in comes walking the Enlightened One, followed closely behind by the doc. Captain?
Hello, Enlightened.
I trust you have news.
Yes, in fact, more news, far more news than when we started. I can only begin by offering my sincerest apologies for what I'm about to do. Because in a rather... I suppose I should start with this. First off, you know that, I trust you, and some of that trust comes in the form of hoping that you trust us. Down on the planet, our people found what caused the explosion, the chain reaction caused by the separatist movement broke away a chunk of your planet. We found that the torpedo casing came from our ship.
From your ship, Captain?
Yes. Closer examination by our crack security team, someone someone used our ship's transporters to acquire one of our ship's torpedoes and hand it over to us.
And you could kind of see her like start to get angry a little bit, but then she just gives out a sigh. She opens her eyes up and looks at you.
The worst part is, we do know who was. And you remember the scientist who joined us planet when we first arrived? Cecile?
And she just nods.
And without saying just a word, the captain just collapses his head into his hand, just totally distraught.
I trust you will be dealing with this one.
We will. We will. She will be facing a very strict court-martial for what she's done. stealing a torpedo on its own would be grounds for court-martial, but considering damage that she caused, it's highly likely that she'll be going away for a long time.
And the Enlightened One seems physically, relieved at that statement. And he says, well, Captain, I believe there's still the issue of the piece of our planet that broke off. That piece is starting to arc and form a sphere. Once that happens, it will be nearly impossible for that part to be reintegrated. I also fear that the Separatists may have broken off one of our ancient ones. That would explain the size of the piece.
Right, yeah. And he shakes his head and, sort of just tries to shake it off.
The only chance we have, Captain, is to go to that piece and attempt to convince the Separatists to return to Zarconia.
Understood, and
no member of our race would willingly harm an ancient one. I can only hope that perhaps they didn't realize what they have done.
By the by, what was it that they had told Evans last week? Is that what they wanted? They said
yes.
they said they wanted a name. They knew what they were doing, right? Am I remembering that correctly, Ed?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm afraid that's not the case in Light 1. According to what my security officer said, these Separatists knew full well what they were doing. They said that in order to form a planet of their own, they would need one of their ancient...
Well, I guess there's only one thing left to do, Captain.
And that is?
And she's turns and walks out of the ready room and starts heading toward a ship.
Oh, God.
They're not doing what I think they're doing, aren't they?
I think, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she did say what they needed to do earlier, Captain.
Yep. So, in case, walks out onto the bridge, and I assume the rest of the senior staff is there.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Pend, he's plot a course to fragment the Zarconian world.
Aye, Captain.
And just a quick burst at impulse, you guys get there. It wasn't terribly far away at this point.
Hmm.
And you guys are hanging out over it.
We gonna blow it up?
No, we're not. We're going to do what I did a month ago. Mr. Azula, hail them. And yes, we do have a hailing procedure for the Zarconians. We figured it out during the end of the arc. The original Zarconian figured out.
I didn't say nothing.
No response, by the way.
Oh, okay, that's what I was. Understood.
Maybe, Captain, a warning shot?
No, we're not. We're not doing it that way. Our weapons got us. Our weapons got us into this. They're not going to get us.
And over the comms, you hear the Enlightened One. Captain Grennan. Transporter, please.
Understood. I guess I'm gonna go to room. Do we have coordinates?
And so you enter the transporter room. You see her already on there, and she just kind of motions toward the pad.
And the captain nods. That pad is-
And you see the enlightened one kind of glow a little bit. Do. Just gonna. And so, Captain, you and the enlightened one are beamed down onto the surface of this. There is breathable air. It is still Zarconia, by the way. Well, it's a part of Zarconia. Before you, you find a cave system, and like the entrance to a cave system.
Question: does it look exactly like the cave system that we dealt with during the original Zarconia arc?
It does not.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were really gonna be screwing with me here. Okay.
All right, Captain. You and the enlightened one are on this planet. What are you doing?
So, where are we?
I am hoping we are near the Separatist.
Right.
I believe, and she points toward the cave, that they are in there.
Nods. What do you think?
I think this is the only chance I have of keeping our society intact.
I agree. And he looks over to her and he just says, "I'm so sorry." And he begins.
What did you say, Captain? You broke
He
up
said-
a little bit.
He said, "I'm so sorry." And he just starts walking.
All right. You eventually make your way into the cave system, and you eventually come to a bit of an opening in the cave. You know, like the cave wasn't that wide, but you come to this opening. In this opening are 4 Zarconians that are of the multicolored crystal. All of them seem to be staring toward the back wall of this opening.
Just a blank back wall.
Yeah, you know, made of crystal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the enlightened one is just kind of looking at you for a cue.
We're here. We've come to talk.
And the silence is what you are met with.
I don't know where to go with this. So they're just staring at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking with your ancient one?
And you are still met with silence.
The captain takes a couple steps forward. Can you hear me?
And you are still met with silence.
How evenly spaced are these Zarconians?
They're probably all equal distant apart from each other.
Okay, so you said there are 4 of them. So the captain is actually going to stand in the middle of the middle 2.
Okay.
And he's going to look around at the Zarconians around him.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the wall.
And as you do that, the wall opens up, revealing another passage that leads further through the cave.
Okay. He steps into it. I assume the Enlightened One does as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you take the path through this cave, and about after probably an hour of travel,
Oh my god. Okay.
you come to a large cavern that seems to stretch for kilometers. The crystal in this cavern is very different from most Arcanian crystal that you have seen thus far, and is probably about 1,000 times more beautiful. The cavern itself makes a kind of labyrinth with bridges connecting pillars of crystal, and there's various formations and shapes of crystals making up the rest of the cavern. As you gaze to look around, you hear a girlish laugh that seems to come out of every crystal.
Oh. Is this? And he turns to look at the Enlightened One.
And she looks just as shocked as you are.
Do you know what this is?
I have no idea, Captain.
It's gorgeous. The Zarkonians have never made anything like this before?
And she just kind of shakes her head and looks around.
Okay. Is anyone there?
And as you say that, in the distance, maybe a few hundred meters away, you can spot a single Zarkonian that is dressed in the same crystal of this cavern. And she seems to be playing with some crystals on a nearby pillar.
The captain is going to walk forward. I've come to talk. I'm Captain Harmon Grennan, United Federation of Planets. But then again, I guess everyone on Zarkonia knows who I am now.
And in a voice that's still very girlish and quiet, but seems to fill the entire chamber. For your part, Captain, you performed wonderfully.
For my part?
Everything that has happened has been planned. We searched the quadrant for a most noble species, one that would bring our children to the galactic stage.
Oh. So you're the Ancient One.
We believe that is what the younglings call us.
Well, and he sort of just scratches his head a little bit and he says, I'm getting a very weird case of deja vu, but alright. But if we did what you wanted and brought them to the galactic stage, then why this?
We hear other younglings of energy elsewhere in the galaxy. We must go and set them on a path, much like we have done here.
I see. So, it's not at all about returning to the old ways, but it's about doing what we did for you. Enlightened One, what do you think?
And she is just speechless at what's happening.
do you think that the Zarkonian people will be able to heal from this?
And the Ancient One kind of answers, if we did not think they were ready, we would not have set this plan in motion.
But we stumbled across you.
As I said, for your part, you performed wonderfully.
Guess there are just some plans that are bigger than you, huh?
The confrontation with your species, the meeting with you, was simply to show them that they were ready.
And you know, and he turns to look at the Enlightened One, I think you're right.
And she turns, Captain?
Ancient One. And he puts a hand forward.
And she just kind of looks at it. I'm assuming you're trying to do a handshake.
Yes. Yes, I am.
It's
And
not
she
happened.
reaches out. And she continues, do not blame your officer. She was fulfilling her role in this little. She pauses, and Captain, you feel a bit of energy rush over you. She was fulfilling her role in this little play as well. She could no further change the events as an actor can change the story.
See.
Anyone else here do improv?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
But see, the captain is big in the plays.
Mm-hmm. I see. I suppose you're right. We all have our roles to play.
And then she lets go of her arm and grasps the Enlightened One. As for you, young one, your role will be ever greater. It is a path that has been selected for you since the very beginning. Take care of our children. And she says, this I leave for you. And the Enlightened One turns back, I understand. And the entire chamber turns dark.
Oh boy. So, suppose we should. Would it be a good idea to just like cut back to us on the Kismet?
Yeah, it could be.
I feel like that'd be a good cut.
Yeah. Back on the Kismet.
Mm-hmm. Probably back in orbit of Zarkonia. So has the Enlightened One gone back, or?
I would say you guys probably just beamed back onto the ship.
Okay.
I think we could take it from there.
Okay. Well, there you have it, Enlightened One. It looks like we're all a little too quick to judge.
Would appear so, Captain. Please take what the Ancient One said to heart. Do not blame your officer for her actions.
Well, she will have to be reprimanded for what she did with the torpedo, for stealing the torpedo. But part about blowing the chunk off of your world, well, considering that was all part of a greater plan, I suppose and something that you as the leader of the Zarkonian people forgive, I suppose all is forgiven in that regard.
It is, Captain. And she says that with a bit of relief.
was good to see you again.
You as well, Captain. May our next meeting be not so eventful.
Agreed. And the captain walks out.
Couldn't resist.
And I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will be the end of Schism.